All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I think I'm going to call this podcast is what age is your mindset? And, I know it's crazy to say I think this way in my 20s, and or people think this way in their 30s, or they think this way in their 40s, because for the most part, I don't believe anybody thinks the same way about a lot of different things. You got guys in their 20s who have the mindset of a businessman, of say somebody who's 40, and then you have people that are 60 that still kind of behave like they're 20. But for the most part, I think you understand when I say, like, what age, is your mindset set at? Because I recently, my daughter took me rock climbing, and I've never done it before. I've always was quite interested in it, but this is just an indoor facility. This isn't outdoors or any of that. So they have these rock climbing facilities where you get to go, and they're really cool. And they have a lot of things to prevent you from getting injured, which is even tying yourself up. So if you do fall, obviously it catches you. So there's room for error. I banged up my elbow because I was kind of jumping from wall to wall. But me and my daughters were having these discussions because actually I have two daughters, an older and a younger one. And the older one likes to experiment with me and try different things. I don't know why. And then the younger one kind of just, she likes to do whatever we like to do, me and her, even separately or together, the three of us. But it was interesting because, obviously, I don't know if you know anything about me. I don't do outdoor stuff mainly. I love swimming and I love fitness and all that, but I'm just not an outdoors guy. You're not going to catch me hunting, fishing, camping, or anything in that nature. But it was interesting that one of my daughters surprised me and took me there, and my younger daughter didn't think I would like it. And sometimes, people you think know you, they don't know you, or they don't know what you're going to like. But I am afraid of heights. So I think that's my younger daughter kind of was telling my older daughter, I don't think he'll like that because he doesn't like heights. The truth is, I'm afraid of heights, but I like being up high. If I'm in an airplane or roller coasters, I just need a controlled environment. To make a long story short, we go rock climbing and I'm having a blast. I loved it. And I'm looking around, and I would say the average age there is probably 20s. It's not too far. Well, it's not close, but UCF, the university's not too far from there. So it looked like a lot of people from UCF, which is one of the largest colleges or student population in the United States right now, Central Florida. There were a lot of kids wearing shirts and all that. And I was actually wearing a UCF Knight shirt because my daughter was there, which was kind of funny. And I seen other people there that were with their children, and their kids were obviously on, practicing the walls. They have stuff for kids as well, all different things for rock climbing. They even have some weights, but they weren't doing it. And then I posted some stuff on Facebook, and then I started getting hit up because my daughter, she got me climbing the wall very quickly. We were doing a bunch of different things, and I was doing the more complicated ones, and they have different levels. And I said, I'm going to try the most complicated, and I did that, and I loved it. And I've been working out my whole life, so anything physical comes to me. But a lot of people were hitting me up even younger. Man, how'd you do that? Or why are you doing that? You could get injured. You're not young anymore. You're an old man. Or why would you, what are you doing? Basically is what I'm trying to say. And I started to think, these are people even in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Now, if you don't want to do that, I understand that. If you're afraid of getting injured, the last thing I'd want you to do is get injured. Or if you're afraid of heights, or you just don't enjoy doing something like that. But I do think there comes a time in your life where you maybe, you sell yourself short sometimes on your age. I think some of us start to think because we're a certain age, we can't do certain things. And I understand we can't always do the things we may have been able to do in our past. I get that. But I also see a lot of studies with men and women that do marathons, triathlons, Tough Mudders, CrossFit, break records in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, does that necessarily mean that they're, going to live longer than everybody else, or that they found the fountain of youth? No, I think they have a different energy level. But I do think they don't ever sell themselves short, or they underestimate how strong they really are, or what they can accomplish. And I'm not going to sit here too and be like some guru to say you can go out and accomplish all this shit, and if you lose all this weight and you get in incredible shape, you could go, do whatever and accomplish everything you've ever wanted to accomplish. I don't think it works like that. I really don't. What I do think, though, works is taking an honest approach on yourself and saying, really, in this, I should say this too. It's not just about physical, is what I'm saying too. It's about mental, just in general. It could be wanting to start your own business. It could be wanting to do, maybe travel somewhere that you've never gone to, or take on something. It could be a website. It could be starting some type of platform. It could be, again, writing a book. I think a lot of us think we're too old to do a lot of things. And I see this more and more now that I'm in my 50s. And because I get lazy too. I get tired. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people think because you work out a lot, you're always creating, or you're a creator, especially maybe a content creator on YouTube or podcasts or whatever I do, programs, or I'm always working on something, thinking you have all the energy in the world to do all that. Even though lately, I used to travel a lot and do that, which I think was actually pretty crazy. But now I had the time not to travel and do it. But at the same time, I'll tell you, when I traveled and did a lot of things on my own, like my own independent things, it seemed like I had I can't say more momentum, but I had a little different type of energy because it was go, go, go. The mindset was wake up, go. Now that I'm not traveling, it's quite interesting. You'd think I'd have a lot more energy, and I don't necessarily. I really don't. I actually do sleep more, which you'd think gives me more energy. I do feel good, and I feel maybe a little better not traveling, just physically on my neck and my shoulder and my back and things of that nature. But I'll tell you, it's not much different. It's either way to get things done. You really got to motivate yourself. But also it takes the mindset to understand that you can accomplish a lot of things regardless, again, what age you are. So I just want to do a podcast on this. And I've done podcasts and videos on people underestimating their physical abilities. But I don't think they realize their mental abilities, how much stronger, or how their mindset, once they figure out what they want to do. I've been studying Italian now for a while again. And I'm really starting to, I understand thousands of words at this point in time. I still can't speak it fluently. I'm getting better understanding it. I mean, I can watch, I have the Italian channel, two of them, Rai and Italian. And I was just even watching, Stanley Tucci all over Italy doing his thing. And I'm starting to understand Italian more and more. And I remember even people saying, man, it's going to be really hard. You've never learned a language. Now you're, in your late 40s or your early 50s. That's going to be, but the truth is I'm programming my brain to not accept anything else but learn the language. And if you kind of have that mindset again to program your brain that if you want to get something accomplished, you can do it. Stop putting a number on there and saying, oh, I'm 40, I can't do this at this age. I'm 50 now, I can't do this. Or I'm 60 and I can't do this. Again, I'm going to say this. I'm not telling you to go out and hurt yourself and say that you're going to have the same physical abilities that maybe you had in your past. You may actually, for a lot of people I know that were lazy, say in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, I see them in better shape in their 50s and 60s. A lot of people, especially in their 40s, blow me away that were actually, were not that, gifted physically or didn't have their shit together. You know what I mean? I'm just telling you, I know a lot of people that did not have their shit together, say in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. For the most part, they were flip-floppers that really, became successful later in life. And I think also a lot of people box themselves in and go, man, if I'm not in this position in a company or have my own company at this age, I'm a nobody, I'm an embarrassment, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to go. But I'll tell you, this pandemic kind of, not for everybody, but you got to look at it, it kind of did change the way a lot of things go for people, because I think a lot of people lost their jobs, got furloughed, may have gone out of business, and are forced to think differently. Even if you had an independent business and it went out of business, that doesn't mean you can't start another business. Now, I'm not telling you when to do that or how to do it, or even you should do that. But what I am saying again is you may be too tired to do it, and I understand that, then let it go if you're exhausted. But just because you're falling on hard times now does not mean it's always going to be that way. So that's just my theory. All right. Basically, think outside the box. I goof around and say I think I'm the oldest millennial out there, and I know a lot of people get aggravated with millennials, but I like hanging with younger people. I'm telling you right now, I learn I was going to do a podcast actually on this, that, people are always talking about learning from people who are wealthy all the time, or learning from people who are extremely successful at what they do. And I've been around a lot of those people, and you kind of do learn things from them. But I'll tell you something else. Me hanging out with a lot of younger people as well, it's not just technology. I'm always learning so much from the youth. And, it's just how life is going right now for them, and how it really kind of is besides just my little world, if that makes sense. You always hear you're out of the age demographic once you hit a certain number. Again, that's kind of bullshit. If you want to kind of go that way, you can go that way. But if you want to know what's going on with, it could be pop music, entertainment, business, technology, all these things, all you got to do is research and open your mind a little bit, not close everything off. Because I think one of the other things we do as we get older is, if we don't like what we see coming up, again, mainly I'll just use technology, you kind of shut it down. It's kind of like the person who liked the typewriter, and then a computer came out and they're like, no, I'm stuck on the typewriter. Kind of like the dude who wanted to ride a horse and a car comes out and you refuse to get in the car. I'm just saying that kind of happens, I think, to a lot of people as they age. Don't shut yourself out. All right. I could go on and on. All right. I wish everyone with the best, and take care.